I've watched traders make the same mistake for more than a century. Different tools, different markets, different screens, but the same flaw repeats itself over and over again. And today, nothing proves that more clearly than the moving average. Everyone uses it. Everyone trusts it. Everyone believes it will tell them when to buy and when to sell. But most traders never stop to ask a simple question. Do I even understand what this line actually means? Because in my time, long before charts, screens, or indicators, I learned something that modern traders have forgotten. Price moves first. The average only follows. And if you don't understand that, the market will punish you for it. So in this first part, I'm going to explain why 90% of traders use moving averages completely wrong, and why this mistake destroys their confidence, their discipline, and eventually their entire account. Let's start from the beginning with what moving averages are not. 1. Moving averages are not signals. They are summaries. Most traders believe a moving average is a predictor. They think the line reveals intention, direction, momentum. But here's the truth. A moving average is not telling you what the market is going to do. It's only telling you what the market has already done. It is a delayed mirror, nothing more. When traders treat it like a crystal ball, they are already one step behind the market. They're reacting to history while believing they're anticipating the future. That is the first fatal error. When I began trading as a boy in bucket shops, there were no indicators, no machines, no lines smoothing out the chaos for me. I learned by reading the tape, by watching the raw relationship between price and time. And even back then, I understood something that applies today. The market doesn't move because an average turns. An average turns because the market moved. If you reverse that cause and effect, you are no longer trading the market. You are trading a delayed shadow of it, and shadows cannot protect you. 2. The illusion of safety. Why traders hide behind the line. Most traders do not use moving averages for strategy. They use them for comfort. The line makes uncertainty feel safer. It gives them a false sense of structure. It promises rules. Where their discipline is weak, they believe, if price is above the moving average, I'm safe. If it crosses below, I'll get out. If it crosses above, I'll get in. And they think they're following a system. But what they are really following is a psychological crutch. You see, the average doesn't save them from confusion. It hides it. It doesn't make them disciplined. It makes them dependent. And dependency is fatal in trading, because the moment the line fails, and it will fail, their confidence collapses. I've seen it countless times. A trader follows the line religiously for 6 trades. It works. They think they've found the secret. They get confident. On the 7th trade, the price cuts straight through it. It whips back. Fake out. Stop loss hit. Account bleeds. Now the trader is confused again. They start second guessing. They add indicators. They change time frames. They alter settings. They chase better moving averages. And the cycle of failure repeats. Not because the indicator is bad, but because their understanding was weak. A tool cannot replace skill. A line cannot replace judgment. And no indicator can replace the one thing every successful trader must develop: the ability to think independently. 3. The biggest misinterpretation. The cross problem. Every beginner looks for crosses. The golden cross, the death cross, the 921 cross, the 2050 cross, the 5200 cross. They wait for it. They worship it. They build entire strategies around it. But here is what very few traders ever realize. A cross is the slowest signal in the entire market. By the time it forms, the smart money has already acted. When the average finally crosses, you are entering late into a move that has already started, with a worse price, higher risk, and lower reward. I used to say, the market is never wrong, your timing is. And nothing reveals bad timing like indicator-based entries. Let me explain with simple logic. If a fast average crosses above a slow one, it means price has already been rising for several bars. If price has been rising, Strong hands likely entered earlier, when the trend was still young. So when the cross finally appears, you are entering behind the professionals, and usually just in time to provide liquidity for their profits. Traders don't lose because the cross is wrong. They lose because they're late. Timing, not direction, determines survival. 4. Moving averages lag, but that's not the real problem. Every trader has heard the classic complaint: moving averages lag too much. But lag is not the real danger. The real danger is what lag does to a trader's psychology. Lag forces you to enter late. Late entries force you to use wider stops. Wider stops create bigger losses. Bigger losses increase fear. Fear causes hesitation. Hesitation breaks discipline. Broken discipline destroys accounts. This chain reaction is why most traders fail. Not because the moving average is bad, but because it exposes their emotional weaknesses. A trader who doesn't understand timing will always blame the indicator, instead of addressing their own habits. But in my experience, the indicator is rarely the problem. The trader's belief about the indicator is 5. Why most people should not use moving averages at all. Let me tell you something most trading educators will never say. If you have weak discipline, moving averages will make you worse, not better. Because when the market moves fast and the average moves slow, your emotions will take control. Fear will push you out early. Greed will make you chase entries. Hope will keep you holding losers. Regret will make you change settings after every loss. The average becomes the enemy, not the guide. Moving averages only work for traders who understand structure, timing, trend behavior, and risk management. Without those foundations, the indicator becomes a trap, and the trap tightens with every trade. 6. How the professionals really use moving averages. Most traders look at moving averages for entries. Professionals do not. They don't care where the line crosses. They don't care if price sits above or below. They don't care what color the indicator turns. Professionals use moving averages for one thing only: structure, not signals. A moving average shows the shape of the market. It shows whether conditions are smooth or chaotic. It shows whether the trend is organized or broken. It shows the rhythm of price, not the direction of the next bar. When I traded in my day, I didn't have these tools, yet I understood the same principle. Before you trade, you must understand the condition of the market, because the condition decides everything. Professionals use moving averages to answer these questions. Is the market trending or rotating? Is the trend clean or choppy? Is volatility expanding or contracting? Are we in a healthy swing cycle or in a dangerous drift? The average is just a visual representation of order versus disorder, and order is where money is made. Disorder is where money is lost. 7. The 3 phases of a trend. This is the part 90% of traders ignore and why they lose. Every trend has 3 phases. Phase 1, the early stage: quiet, tight, controlled. This is where strong hands accumulate. Price begins to move with subtle strength. The moving average begins to curl, but most traders don't trust it yet. They are watching, not acting. This is where professionals build their positions. Phase 2, the expansion stage. Now, momentum appears. The moving averages widen. The slope increases. Everyone sees the trend. And now retail traders jump in. This is where beginners chase entries that professionals placed long before. The trend is obvious, but the opportunity is no longer obvious. Phase 3, the exhaustion stage. This is the most dangerous phase. The average is still rising. The trend still looks healthy, but the energy underneath is weakening. Volume softens. Price becomes unstable. Pullbacks grow deeper. Swings become uneven. The moving average still looks strong, but the market is tired. Retail traders enter here, believing the line will protect them. Professionals exit here because they understand something. Every beginner forgets. By the time the average looks the strongest, the trend is already dying. This is why traders lose, not because the indicator failed, but because they entered a trend when the smart money was leaving it. 8. Why moving averages fail when you most need them. Every losing trader has said this. It broke below the moving average, so I sold, and then it went right back up. Or, it crossed above, I entered, and it reversed immediately. What they call failure is actually normal market behavior. The average didn't fail. The trader misunderstood the context. Let me explain. A moving average smooths price. Price is alive. Price breathes. Price surges, hesitates, retroces, spikes, but the average cannot show those micro shifts. It only shows the mean of the battle, never the battle itself. So here's the truth many traders never hear. Price will always break the average before the trend ends, and price will always break the average before a new trend begins. That means, if you exit every time price touches the line, you will exit too early. If you enter every time price crosses the line, you will enter too late. The indicator is not the problem. Your expectations are. Markets breathe around their averages, and most traders mistake normal breathing for direction change. They react emotionally, and emotions never beat the market. 9 volatility cycles. The silent enemy. Here is something I learned from a lifetime of trading. Trends die Noise, traders die Noise, and moving averages react very poorly when volatility becomes unstable. There are 2 volatility states. State A, compressed volatility, small ranges, tight structure, quiet movement. In this state, the moving average is powerful. It reflects trend cleanly. It supports structure. It creates order. This is where professionals strike. State B, expanded volatility, wild swings, gaps, long wicks, chaotic candles. In this state, the moving average becomes nearly useless. It lags too far behind the violence of price. It cannot smooth the chaos. It gives false signals. It reacts too slowly to protect you. It turns into a trap. This is where retail traders get slaughtered. If you do not understand volatility cycles, you will trust your indicator at the exact moment. You should ignore it. That is how accounts vanish. 10. The real reason most traders lose with moving averages. It has nothing to do with the strategy, nothing to do with the settings, nothing to do with the time frame. The real problem is this. Traders use moving averages to replace uncertainty when they should use them to understand it. They want the line to give permission. They want the line to give answers. They want the line to tell them what to do. But trading does not reward obedience. It rewards understanding. A moving average should not tell you when to trade. It should tell you when the environment is favorable to trade. There is a difference, and that difference determines whether you survive or become one of the statistics. 11. How to actually use moving averages the right way. By now, you understand the truth. Moving averages don't predict. They don't warn. They don't decide. They simply reveal the condition of the market. And once you accept that, you stop trying to use them like a weapon, and you start using them like a map. A map does not tell you where to go. A map tells you where you are, and the moving average does the same. It shows you the state of the battlefield, the tilt of momentum, the order or disorder of price action, the environment you are about to enter. When I traded in my era, I had no maps except the tape itself, but the principles were identical. Before I ever placed a trade, I asked a simple question. Is the market in a position where predictable movement is likely? Not guaranteed, not promised, just likely. Because trading is never about certainty. It is about probability, and probability lives inside structure. Moving averages are one way to see that structure, but you must read them with intelligence. Let me show you how. 12. The 3 rules of using moving averages like a professional. Rule 1, trade only when the averages agree with price behavior. Most traders wait for the line to move. Professionals wait for price to move, and they use the line to confirm the behavior. If the trend is clean, the pullbacks are controlled, the swings are structured, and the average follows smoothly. That is alignment. If price is chaotic, moving wildly above and below the average, leaving long wicks, showing fear and greed every few bars, that is instability. You never trade instability. You trade alignment. Moving averages should not lead. They should confirm. Rule 2. Respect the slope, not the cross. A cross is slow. A slope is truth. When the average points strongly upward, with price respecting it, you have momentum. When it flattens, the trend is losing energy. When it curls downward, the character of the market has changed. The slope is the signature of strength or weakness. And I want you to remember this line. The direction of the average is more important than the location of price. Most beginners focus on where price touches the line. Professionals focus on how the line itself behaves. A flat average in a rising market is a warning. A rising average in a choppy market is a trap. A steep average in a controlled trend is opportunity. Follow the slope, not the noise. Rule 3. Wait for the pullback, not the break. Beginners chase breakouts. Professionals wait for pullbacks. A breakout through the moving average is often a burst of emotion. It is where amateurs rush in. It is where stop orders trigger. It is where price behaves irrationally. But a pullback to the average, that is the quiet moment where true opportunity hides. Because pullbacks reveal the behavior of real money. Are buyers defending the trend? Are sellers exhausted? Is volatility compressing? Is structure forming? Is direction still aligned with the slope? A pullback answers question. A breakout creates question. Never enter uncertainty. Always enter clarity. 13. The true entry method that most traders never learn. Let me tell you the real way. Strong hands enter the market. They enter during stability, not excitement. They enter when the market is calm enough for the moving average to represent real structure. When price interacts with the average respectfully, when volatility is controlled, when the slope is honest, when the trend is young, and the crowd has not woken up yet, professionals enter before the amateurs see the cross, before the indicator sends a signal, before the move becomes obvious, before the noise begins. Because by the time the average gives the perfect signal, the real opportunity has already passed. My greatest trades did not come from entering after confirmation. They came from entering when the structure confirmed long before the indicator did. Think of it this way. If a moving average tells you where the middle of the trend is, a professional wants to be positioned before the middle arrives, not after. 14. The psychological trap behind every indicator. The moving average itself is not dangerous. Your relationship with it is. You want it to save you. You want it to reduce fear. You want it to protect your decisions. You want it to give you permission to act. But permission does not come from indicators. Permission comes from understanding. Every losing trader I've ever known made the same mistake. They tried to use a tool to avoid feeling uncertain. But uncertainty is not the enemy. It is the environment. If you cannot act intelligently inside uncertainty, you will not survive this business. And no average, no cross, no setting, no combination of lines will ever fix a psychological problem. You must learn to understand the market, not depend on a line to explain it. 15. The final framework. How to use moving averages with confidence. Here is the full model, the one I would give my younger self if I could speak to him today. Step 1. Define the condition. Is the market smooth or chaotic? Is the average clean or broken? Is volatility expanding or compressing? Only trade smooth structure. Step 2. Define the direction. Is the slope rising, falling, or flat? Does price respect that direction? Only trade when the slope and price agree. Step 3. Wait for the pullback. Let amateur chase breakouts. Let them rush. Let them act emotionally. You enter when the market breathes. Step 4. Confirm stability. Small candles. Reduced volatility. Higher lows in an uptrend. Lower highs in a downtrend. Stability reveals intention. Step 5. Enter with calm. Exit with discipline. A predictable environment gives you confidence. Your discipline protects your account. Your understanding protects your future. This is the path, not because it guarantees success, but because it eliminates confusion. You will still lose trades. You will still face uncertainty. You will still feel moments of doubt, but you will finally trade with clarity, with structure, and with confidence instead of chasing lines that were never meant to lead you.